This is Baisley here from FilmSnobbery.com. I'm here at the Orlando Film Festival at the wonderful Plaza Cinema Cafe. I'm here with the festival director of the Orlando Film Festival, Dan Springen. Dan, thank you for having me here and welcome.
My pleasure. You guys, you brought a new element to the festival. I love that we have the press room. The filmmakers love it. We love it. We're looking forward to seeing what you do with it.
You've got a bunch of wonderful sponsors here. We're standing in front of one of them here, Universal Studios Florida. I went on a great tour of Universal Studios Backlots. I had such a great time. You have Coppola Wine. You have there's so many people that have come out to support this festival. Why is that?
You know, I think mainly I'd have to give a lot of kudos to our board. Our board is very established in the Orlando area. They have met the people, they've built this. You have to remember that this is only my second year as the executive director. So they've been doing this for 5 years, and they brought these wonderful sponsors on like Universal Studios, like Mears Motors, like T Creative, who actually started 2 years ago, but they really stepped up for us and brought it big time. Posters, banners, everything that we needed to really support the festival. When you're doing a festival like this, especially when you're free, you have to have folks like Universal Studios who's going to step up and give you the things that you need to be able to make the festival work. So, we're completely honored, but it's the board members that have brought these wonderful sponsors to this festival.
Now, you mentioned this festival is free for anyone to attend. Why do that? That's crazy, man. Come on, we got to make some money here. What's the business plan behind this?
Well, let's get to the bottom of it. I mean, why did AFI go free? Why did they do it? And they did it last year. But we've been doing it for 5 years. The reason is, number one is if you have good sponsors who can, unless you're trying to use this as a business to make a ton of money, then maybe you don't want to do the sponsor route. If you're trying to do this to bring art and to bring films to your community, to get films out for everybody to see, you don't need to make a ton of money. What you need to have is sponsors who are going to give you what you need to actually pull the festival off. And that's really the key. Yeah, if we were selling tickets, we'd be making a fortune. But then we'd have to follow a lot more guidelines, and things that our sponsors and the people that were, for the paying customer that we may not want to do. We just, we have great sponsors, Universal Studios, Mears. These guys, they make it possible for us to be free. And if we can bring free cinema to anyone, to get them educated and active and now wanting to go and see, whether it's Hollywood films or whether it's independent films, it doesn't matter. We've given them an opportunity to come and sit in this theater and watch films. And if they come back to this theater at any time, we've done our job. If they go to Universal Studios because they saw the logo here or they were impressed with the fam tour that you went on, whatever ends up happening, it's extremely important to remember that it's not about the almighty dollar. When you're a filmmaker and you're into cinema, it's about the film and the filmmaker. For me, period. Filmmaker, that's it.
Now, speaking of filmmakers, this is probably one of the best attended by filmmakers festivals I've ever been to. I've gone around, done a lot of them. Why do you think that the Orlando Film Festival is so attractive to filmmakers to come and attend, network, or talk to other? What is it about that this place that makes people want to go? Like, I want to go to Florida.
Well, there's a couple. That's two-part for me. Number one, the way that we run our festival is because I'm a filmmaker myself. I brought my production manager, I brought my first AD, my second AD, my production coordinator, key PA. I brought my team. And we run this film festival like a film set. I'm a DGA director. I'm a filmmaker first. I want you guys to remember this. That's why when filmmakers decide to come to this festival, it's because they're hosted by filmmakers. We're more into you as filmmakers and into your film than we are the bureaucrats, the politicians, and the other things that go along with some of the other festivals. Look, I don't care if, you screen first with me or last with me. If you made a great film, I want to show it to the people in Orlando. If you're if you want to travel in from China to hang out with us, you're going to get the same respect as a Florida filmmaker who makes a film 5 feet away from me and puts it in the festival. Everybody gets the same respect, and that's the same way I run my sets. Everyone gets the same respect. I don't care if you're the director or if you're the assistant to the craft service PA. You get the same respect. So that, I think filmmakers appreciate that. And when they're here and they see that, okay, the big feature film, we hold that up. But you know what? We hold up the short films too. We hold them all up. We love filmmakers in film. That's it. That's it.
The audiences seem to have had a really good reaction every time someone's passing by the press room here. I always say hi, how you doing? They always are saying, oh, I saw this, I saw that. What's the screening process like when you're going through these to pick out the movies that are going to show here? Because it seems like everyone is having a phenomenal time with the films. Everyone's saying how good the selection is this year. What's the screening process like for you when you're programming the festival?
Okay. Well, we have a committee that is together, and it's about 8 people that screen the films, and we go through a process. When I first got to the festival, the first thing that I said is that we need to rearrange our screening process, in my belief, and put it on a point system. So every film that comes through the festival goes through a point system where it's 10 points for directing, their screenplay, their music, their art direction, all the key points that it takes to make a film. So that way, when you have a 96 or you have a 98, it's easier to say, okay, that one needs to be looked at again by the programming committee. If it lands under a 50, it just doesn't go any farther. So, you have to remember that there are thousands of people out there that want to have their film play at your festival. Okay, that's great. Send us your film, let's look at it. But a lot of times there's people who have been misdirected or didn't get the opportunity to have guidance in making their film, and they send in films that are they're maybe not unwatchable, but they can't play in a festival where this is a filmmakers festival. So these filmmakers are going to sit in the audience and they're going to go, that's suspect, right? Mm-hmm. So we can't have that. I'd love to be able to show everybody's films, but we can't. What we want to show is quality. I look at production design, I look at art direction, performances, directing, screenplay, music. All the things that encompass a great film, we have that breakdown process, and it's based on 100 points. So if you're over 50 points, you get a second look. If you're over 80 points, you get a final look. If you're anywhere between 50 and 80, you'll get a second look, maybe a third look if it passes on. But if you're over 80, you're now down to the finals, and we pick you out of there.
And you said this is your second year with the festival. This is the 5th year of the festival overall.
That's right.
What's in store for year 6?
Bigger. I'd like to say better, but you know what? Last year, and you guys can't see Jerry, he's back there behind the camera, but Jerry was here last year, and I thought last year was pretty good, and then this year, is even better, and it's bigger, and we have a lot more to offer. We incorporated a comedy show. We have comedy shows going on in our theaters, and just to essentially just make the film festival grow and grow it out, because we're only going to get so many films from Without a Box or personal submissions. So we want to add a couple live events in, and all of our live events, VIPs get in for free, and people who don't have their VIP pass can still go to them. They can buy a ticket to them. Mm-hmm. So we had Eddie Brill doing stand-up comedy. We had Florida Comics Live doing comedy. We had Edwin McCain playing at our rap party. Last night's rap party was pretty spectacular. I'm a filmmaker. I've thrown a lot of rap parties. Nothing like that one. It was off the chain, And
We've got footage. We know.
are you going to intercut? I hope so.
We've got some footage of you too. What is it for you? I mean, you're also a filmmaker, like you mentioned. What's next for you in your film career?
Glad you asked that.
Me too.
You know, here's the thing, is that I may produce a couple films coming up, but as a director, my next project is epic. I mean, I want to make an Oscar run. That's what I want to do. I mean, in my heart of hearts, I know that this is in my future, and I'll be there. I have no questions. But you know, I mean, I love films like Gandhi, like English Patient, like Lawrence of Arabia. You know, I will make, as a director, I will make an epic that will make an Oscar run sometime in my career. By 2020, I want to have an Oscar nom. That's my short-term goal. Let me say midterm goal. 2020 is a couple of years away. But I look at it as a short term because I plan to continue being a filmmaker until the day that, you know, that I'm not allowed to be on the earth anymore. Up until then, I'll probably produce for other people. I mean, you know, I'd love to work with Jerry, who's behind the camera. He's a very talented filmmaker. I'd love to work with him. I'd love to work with Elias Plagianos, who was last year's best director.
The Crimson Mask.
Crimson Mask, which we love the film. I mean, that's independent spirit as well, you know. I mean, and then we've got like guys like Eli Pena, who brought us Not Even the Devil this year. These guys made the film for $2,000. I'm an indie film producer director, so I've got 7 films in worldwide distribution. All of them were done indie style, and they're at Blockbuster. I've got Contract Killers that's playing in rotation on Showtime. You know, plus a bunch of other films that you can look up on IMDb. So I love the process. I want to keep filmmaking. I think that my next directorial move, in a big way, in a feature way, is I just want to build it up back to where I ultimately want to go, and that's epic. I want an epic.
Well, it seems like you tend to go epic on everything because the festival here has been epic. I want to thank you for the invitation once again, sir. And thank you for taking good care of us here at FilmSnobbery, as well as thank you for taking care of the filmmakers, because that, to me, is the most important as well, just like it is to you. Showing everyone a great time here at the Orlando Film Festival. Is there any other thing you'd like to leave us with for, you know, for next year, or for even for, you know, anything that you want to pass on to other filmmakers about anything?
Absolutely. Look, I'm looking you right in the eye. If you're watching this right now and you're a filmmaker, I want you to know something. If you come to this festival, if you send us a film, you're going to be treated just like everyone else. You're going to be treated like a rock star. I'm a filmmaker first and foremost. Ask anybody who's been to one of these festivals, at least since I've been the executive director. I love films, I love filmmakers, and if you have a film, send it to me, okay? Go through Without a Box in April next year, send it, and I'll tell you what, if not, just send it here. 1201 East Robinson Street, Orlando, Florida, 32801. Send it there anytime during the year. If it's ready to go, send it now. If you make it in, I may have to charge you just because it's fair to everybody. But send it down. Let's get you into the festival. This is where we do what we love with who we love, and that's filmmakers and films, and that's truly, truly my position on this film festival. One day I may not be able to, be the executive director, but I hope that it continues on in this vein. It's a festival for filmmakers, period. OrlandoFilmFest.com. OrlandoFilmFest.com. Nick, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. Cinema for all for free. Orlando Film Festival.